Hello and welcome back, everybody. EGF Season 3 brought to you by Intel. A little bit of a change of cast here. Sir Waltham Twin Salty sitting at the helm as we take a look towards DePaul University versus University of Montana.
Yeah, should be a pretty good game tonight, honestly. Both teams lower on the table, struggling to get this season going, but I think for one of these teams, it's going to be a great boost for these final 4 weeks.
Everybody wants to have that last minute momentum, just pushing ever so slightly forward. So we do take a quick map look. We will be seeing Lijiang, then Hollywood, then Hanamura, and if necessary, we'll be moving on to our fourth and fifth map, Route 66 and Busan. Very excited to see those. And Hollywood, Twin, I feel like it's one we don't see enough, personally.
Yeah, we honestly don't see it a ton, and I'm not sure if it's a map that teams scrim a ton either. So curious to see what strats teams are going to run on that second map of today. Maybe we actually get to a fourth map today. I think if we do get to one, it'll probably be in this series as we have Colorado in our game 2 against Wichita State, which we'll save that for later on. But I don't know. University of Montana, rough start to EGF. They joined us at the beginning of the spring split. They're 0-4. They have not won a map quite yet. I think a little bit of a hard adjustment, and they've also had like a ridiculously hard strength of schedule for their first 4 games. And then they go up against DePaul, which DePaul, they've looked better. They won last week. The week before that, they got reverse swept by Hawaii. So which DePaul are we going to get? We're going to have to wait and see.
I think I know which one you're hoping for if you're Montana. You're looking for that slightly weaker DePaul. I mean, you mentioned it. This is Montana's, first time coming off those really strong teams. Maybe this is finally the time when they get to sharpen their teeth against a team of, more equal caliber in DePaul.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be the closest game Montana is going to have all season, at least up to this point, especially if they can start getting it going. And we've seen flashes of really good things from them, but their schedule's really not allowed them to jump up and have it show in this overall standing. So, against a team like DePaul, who's 2-9 entering tonight, it is the door that maybe they needed opened.
We certainly are going to be hoping so when these doors open up onto Gardens. Only about 15 seconds left, but we can already see all the characters locked into their roster.
Yeah, but it's going to be DePaul, looks like running that rush, like 6-man lineup, where everybody's going to be trying to be in that giant death ball. And then University of Montana, going to have the normal rush comp, going to teleport out of spawn. That around the point, actually. I'm not sure which one we are going to see, as it looks like they have teleported to point.
This could be a little bit risky. You sometimes see the opportunity for some dive coming through here, but with this rush comp, the opportunity to really get some damage, and not going to be the case, though, as Bun Bun, first one taken out. Trades going back and forth, but favoring DePaul. Montana looking a little bit scattered as they suffer their loss in this first fight.
Yeah, so for a loss, DePaul just able to break right through the set defense of Montana and able to capture that point first. Montana's going to have a little bit of an issue with Volok on the Doomfist. The only real counter they're going to have, okay, now it's going to be Loadman on the Cassidy. It was Cheval for a second there, but if you can deal with Volok and you can deal with Noob, who are just be constantly pushing the back line, then you have a shot to try and bring this fight around.
Airstrikes going in. Jimmy Carter not able to find too much with it, and right now Montana just trying to maintain entry, but it's going to be very hard. That cleave damage from Zeph going to keep applying constant pressure, and the nice wraparound constriction coming through from DePaul. Already the damage flowing like water.
Yeah, it is ever so flowing. Loadman now just stuck in a bad spot. They're going to get taken down. The staggers come through, and it will be an elongated team wipe for DePaul. They're looking good so far. It's exactly what you want to do on Gardens. Get the momentum rolling. Now you have plenty of ultimates at your disposal. Montana getting close to that first shatter, but you wonder how many people it's actually going to hit, because it seems like once DePaul initiate that fight, setting their own tempo, these fights do not last very long.
It's gonna get even worse, because now we're starting to see ultimates come online for DePaul. We already see the Primal, the Meteor Strike, the Coalescence all coming in. University of Montana's been switching way too much. The Coalescence is gonna be starting this thing off. Noob taking one down, followed up with a little bit more damage. A nice anti-nade might have been the only reprieve from Montana, but Noob is gonna be the only member taken down. That was a slight opportunity that they just barely missed.
Yeah, I don't know if it would have turned the fight around, but definitely something that had the possibility to is Veloxant try and get the Zarya, and they will be able to with the help of Noob and Mischievous. And now one fight away. DePaul, they're setting the tempo every single fight, and Montana has just not had many answers so far.
That Primal on the bridge has the potential exactly there to get 2 kills off that environment. It's going to be very crucial. DePaul not even going to let anybody from Montana touch. That's a quick objective secure.
That is a very quick 100-0 for DePaul. A great way to start off the map. They just looked dominant. They were setting the tempo. Their engages were so clinical and so quick. It seemed like every single fight was done within a second or two. It was so clean from DePaul. Montana has to answer some way, and at least for them, going to Control Center favors their composition a little bit more. Let's see if they give up a little bit more of a fight here on Control Center.
I would certainly hope so. I do agree, you know, that Ryan Zarya a little bit more powerful when you don't have as many angles of attack, but they don't seem to be running that Lucio. That means DePaul might just be able to rope-a-dope him.
Yeah, they're going to have the speed advantage, especially with... They're going to run a combo I haven't seen in a little bit, but it was pretty meta for a long time. With the Junkrat and the Symmetra, you get clear control of this room, and you can just hold strong at Montana without the speed, without the TP, lagging behind.
A very unfortunate start for Montana. They're now down in positioning, and already we can see Jimmy Carter trying to figure out exactly where they should be focusing, whether it's the shield, whether it's the hammer. Doesn't seem to be paying off in either capacity for them, although Montana has managed to squeeze DePaul off this point, at least for a moment. It hasn't quite unlocked yet, but Montana might get first cap here. No, it's going to be Volak actually throwing in the mines, getting Bowser Hauser down. DePaul contesting at the perfect moment to catch Montana a little bit off balance.
Able to catch him off balance, and Noob is just able to clean up shop. 3 final blows for them in the kill feed, and this Symmetra is so potent, just making sure their only goal is basically to not let Jimmy Carter play the game. Like with that Symmetra, you just want to burn down that shield, put constant pressure on that front line, and with the turrets as well, it is just constant pressure that it seems like Montana, at least so far, not able to answer with.
And if you're on the side of DePaul, you're fine taking a slow fight, but if things get too hairy, you still have that Lucio. University of Montana not perhaps putting the pieces together as much as they need to, and they're stuck at this door. The Riptire's gonna go out. A pin comes through. The Diva gets taken down. No, doesn't even get taken down, has the boosters to get back on. Volak getting a double kill off the back end either way, and DePaul University just has this on lock.
Yeah, they're on lockdown at this point. They can hold this choke. They have the 2 turrets set up. And Volak, what a great tire. Going back for those few members trying to get into the spawn doors for protection. Does not allow the team. Great fire strike early, and automatically makes Jimmy Carter retreat.
Oviatek has that nano, but perhaps gets a bit too bold with it. Gets taken down right before that grab is online. We do have the grab dragons coming up, but Tangerine has the opportunity to negate all of that.
Yeah, Tangerine has the ability to negate everything on Montana's side, at least with the exception of Coalescence. If they're going to be able to, that's a different question, but DePaul holding strong here, knowing that they have a clear win condition in this fight, is just trying to take advantage of these ults.
Jimmy Carter going in for an aggressive pin, not able to find too much. Sound Barrier comes in, the Dragons as well comboing, but the Immortality Field doesn't save. It catches just 3 members outside of its radius. Because of that, Montana has a severe chance here, but both tanks still rocking on the field for DePaul. I say that right as Zeph falls down, and Montana has just the Hanzo, has just, it looks like, one of the supports as well, trying to keep them alive, but Tangerine is just content to play around this central pillar.
Yeah, they know they don't have to win the fight right there. They can just contest for a little bit, and then here comes the reinforcements from DePaul.
Certainly coming in strong. Cheval able to get 1 kill. I believe that was off an Icicle. Blizzard online. Gonna be throwing it out. Cheval drops, but the Blizzard's gone out. The damage might already be done. The Diva has to take a very slim margin on this point. Overtime's gonna be burning down faster and faster. Somebody from DePaul has to get some big plays here. It might be Volak on this Doomfist.
It's a combination of Volak and Noob, and that's it. 100-0 both rounds. DePaul University. Super strong start, and the way they win there is keeping Noob alive. Because they have the teleporter from spawn, so the reinforcements are coming in faster than Montana's. And as well, you have the turrets, you have that constant shield pressure. You saw it at the very end, got to stage 3, and just deleted the front line trying to contest. What a great boop from Zeph, able to get 2. He'll get partial credit for the Bun Bun elimination as well. That is near perfect execution of how to control the tempo, and a very good last second stall, knowing, especially if you're Tangerine, knowing got to stall for a few seconds. If I stay alive, team's coming back to support me, and then we win it from there.
And unfortunately, if you're on the side of Montana, you haven't necessarily even passed the eye check. I mean, you look at the
Yeah.
Symmetra that was playing on Control Center. Jimmy Carter just spent most of his time with shields up just trying to deflect those turrets. I'd like to see perhaps Jimmy Carter get a little bit more aggressive, push ahead, let his teammates clear that out, and then maybe get some swing damage, maybe get some fire strikes, buy some space in any capacity. It just didn't happen there.
No, it just didn't. And it kind of like what we said at the end of round one. Jimmy Carter just couldn't play the game. Like the Symmetra was so funny, he had to protect himself a little bit, but I do want to see him be more aggressive. Because I think when you allow that, it allows your DPS maybe to, as long as they can take care of that Symmetra, then your focus completely changes. It's not, oh, let's survive and make sure we don't die to Sim. It's let's push in, let's try and get some of these targets out of the way.
See if perhaps that mentality changes as we look towards Hollywood. It's going to be DePaul starting off on the defense, which means Montana has to try to crack this first point if they want any chance of winning it.
Yeah, they're going to have to at least get some offense going that we've not seen from them this entire game so far. They're going to run the rush again, it appears. But obviously they're an offensive spawn, so they still got a little bit of time to fiddle around. DePaul going for the dive. Volak, though, on the Junkrat, I think just for some choke spam. And we got the Echo Mercy combo with Noob and Mischievous. I am kind of curious how Montana is going to adapt to this Echo being in play. If they stay their current composition, you would think Loadman's going to swap to maybe a Cassidy or an Ash to try and deal with the Echo. But it is a very tall order considering how well Noob was playing on Li Jiang.
I'm gonna do a little bit of speculation here, Twin. The Junkrat from DePaul, actually really good, aside from that trap you can lay in the initial, which I believe we did see Volak do. But if you anticipate Montana wrapping through that choke, you can trap Cafe. Not gonna matter as Bun Bun just immediately drops Montana. Still has some time, get themselves gathered. They take an early loss, some early charge to Volak, but it's not gonna cost them too much.
No, it's not going to cost you too much. It's going to cost you about 20 seconds, and now they can push right back on in with Bun Bun with the team. And now they have that room cleared as Loden moves their way through. And now they can finally figure out how they want to push in through choke.
Montana going to be matching with a Junkrat of their own. Zafe, however, catching the idea that Montana wants to try to wrap around from behind, has that mobility to get themselves out of danger. Montana right now suffering an early loss in Loadman means that your tanks just aren't going to be able to withstand the pressure if you're on Montana that DePaul is going to be able to put out. You can see Volak already throwing down tons of damage.
Yeah, tons of damage going through. Volak just having so much fun. I think he got tired within like 40 to 50 seconds, which is pretty ridiculous, especially on a map that is not, you know, notoriously known for Junkrat play. It's playable, but it's not, you know, it's not like a Temple of Anubis. So now Montana going to be making some swaps. Double bubble. Now the call, what to do think is the correct call. You can try and capitalize on that high ground, like Jimmy Carter is right now. And Cheval going to try and deal with Noob.
Feels like Montana's broken out a flow chart here. They see the Echo, they see the Mercy, and they bring out a Soldier, but Cheval really didn't get any value for it. Granted, they got hit by a tire, but I mean, DePaul's probably going to be a bit sharp for that.
Yeah, they knew this swap was coming, you would think. Like, they're eventually going to swap to try and deal with Noob up in the air, and they do. Or Loadman as well, trying to deal with some shield pressure and win that long-range game that DePaul really can't help with for the most part, but Duplicate looking to be coming in here, and Montana can now have a full 6 going through choke, it seems like.
It's really tough. Montana doesn't have the shields now to really contest that. Cheval not checking the floor for those traps. Jimmy Carter barely able to get out, gets the nano on the back end. I don't really like that. They're on the retreat, and it seems like Jimmy Carter just had to try to stay alive for some reason, but either way, DePaul going to be very happy with the time they're burning.
Oh, DePaul has to be extremely happy with this, even though they do lose Noob after Loadman does swap over the Hanzo, now on to the Cassidy, and Jimmy Carter maybe in desperation mode at this point, going for the Roadhog, maybe going to try and get a pick onto Volak, as he has been running rampant. Here comes the tire, could be looking in the back, and we'll see. Going to be actually going a really long time, and we'll get punished for it.
The tire didn't find anything, but it still bought a lot of time that Montana's now going to have to deal with a little bit of pressure. I say a lot of time, 6 seconds over the course of a team fight. Still makes the fight a lot longer. It's going to be the Sound Barrier coming in for Montana, trying to drag this fight out, trying to get that reinforcement boost, but the self-destruct gets 3! I know Jimmy Carter was trapped, but I don't know what happened with the others. No shield, I guess, is the simple answer, and Montana just trying to get Ovia Tank out of there, but can't make it happen.
Tangerine gets the 5K. And yeah, part of it is, yeah, you have no shields, and Oivatag not able to really do anything about that with their bubbles. And I think a lot of it was just perfectly placed. Just got around that corner enough where I got everybody around the choke.
Montana starting off strong, the hook kill onto Volak. They just have to be very careful. Mischievous, if they can catch them off guard, can get that res still online. Tangerine gets demeched as well. Montana has a huge opportunity here. The Deadeye takes down Tangerine in that baby diva form. Primal coming out from Zape just to buy a little bit of time, but it looks like Montana had enough in the bank, but I was talking about it for the Junkrat, but no, it applies to the Echo. The res comes through, and DePaul once again just having these long stalls on point.
Yeah, super long stalls coming in, and DePaul, this might be the best we've seen them look in a long time. They're going to full hold on Hollywood, and just what a performance from them, making sure the big things for them, they kept high ground control almost the entire game, and that near high ground and the far high ground. They didn't really allow Montana for half of these fights to have a full 6-on-6 with the early picks coming in from either Noob or Volak, or sometimes using Zeph or Tangerine. And they set the tempo again, just like Li Jiang. They set the tempo every fight. They controlled when these fights were going to happen and where they were going to happen. And just time and time again, Montana were not set up.
Time and time again, it's kind of a weird phrase to say because DePaul's just been taking these fights or rather been taking these maps so fast. I mean, at times barely been a factor to them, but now they're going to be the ones who go on the attack. And speaking of time, still, it's going to be very quick if they're able to get that one tick for first point.
Yeah, the fact that they only need the one tick, it allows them to kind of mess with a little bit what they want to run. Because if they don't run with, if they go out and they see Montana as a hard counter for them, they have plenty of time to swap because they know they don't have to, have an ultimate economy for an elongated round. They just need to maybe eventually get 4 or 5 ults. They all press Q, and if they do it well, they're probably going to win the map. So DePaul has that luxury of time on their side. Montana, not so much. They're rolling the halt hook. And I think Jimmy Carter at least got a little bit of value on that Roadhog, so maybe it's the right call to keep them on the Roadhog for now.
I would hope that Jimmy Carter doesn't get too focused on this ball. However, it's going to be hard to confirm any kills, and you'll get the CC, but it won't net a whole lot. Bun immediately taking a lot of pressure. Zeph sniffing them out. It's going to be the Biotic Nade immediately invested just to keep themselves alive. We can already see DePaul trying to displace, and I mean, a kill's a little bit better than displacement coming through. Volak with a double, trying to get that third onto Cheval, but it's going to be Noob who has the focusing beam. It looks like this is already cracked through for DePaul. Zeph not even really needed on the main fight just to get this action going. The halt pulling everybody right onto point. It's going to be the first tick achieved, and of course that means Hollywood achieved.
Yeah, Hollywood achieved that a pretty near perfect dive from DePaul. They realized that Ana is behind, not in the right position. They can start lobbing nades in and force everybody off high ground where they have 1 or 2 members just waiting for them to drop lower on point. This was that Diva bomb. Just gets over it. Yeah, what a bomb to loop it around to make sure it lands exactly where Tangerine wanted it. It's a near masterclass from DePaul so far. It just, every single time a fight comes up, have they lost a fight so far this tonight? I don't think
they came close on command center or control center.
Yes, they got very close, but I don't they haven't lost a fight, and that is just purely due to communication, coordination, and chemistry, and I think all 3 of those in favor of DePaul so far. We're gonna go to a quick break, and right after this break, we'll be going to Hanamura.
Welcome back, EGF Season 3, brought to you by Intel. And Twin, I don't think we've ever been off of a break 30 minutes in so far. This is a fast matchup for DePaul.
It might be a record for the fastest game we've had, at least for us this year.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think it's just a huge credit to DePaul. It's not even as much against Montana. Again, we saw the final fight in Control Center where they looked really good on the engage. The only thing that caught them off was that they got a little bit split. And just because they didn't have the Lucio, they were not as fast to come in, but they had a good fight plan. Grab Dragon, you get 3, you move in. It's just that little bit at the end kind of crumpled for them. Hollywood, I just don't know if it was like they haven't played it that much. I don't think they expected the dive, and they couldn't really figure out how to tinker with it. Now going on to Hanamura, I want to see something else from them because we've seen it in the past. They can do it where they have these glimpses of greatness in these team fights. We just need to see it more consistently here on the offense.
Certainly tend to agree. And DePaul, what do you think the likelihood is of them running an echo on that second well, should we get to the second point, Montana is going to be attacking again. So perhaps let's talk about the first. What do you think the chances of them running something aerial against Montana is again?
Very likely is right now they are on the pharmacy coming out of spawn for DePaul. And I do like the call. Farah can be absolutely great on this first point. Second point, you may want to go to the Echo. But for this first point, Farah is just ridiculously overpowered. And especially when you have kind of the rest of the chaos going around. You have Zeph going into the backline, just trying to disrupt everything going on with communication so nobody looks at the pharmacy in the air. And then Volak is just still launching nades from everywhere. He does have another trap set up. Let's see if it hits another one again. Montana going for the TP with the Bastion, maybe up on high ground.
Well, the immediate Junkrat mine comes out, doesn't confirm any kills. Well, now it confirms some kills, but already halfway to tire for Volak. That is a quick start for the Junkrat player, and already Montana looking a bit frazzled. They have to invest a res very early on just to keep Bowser Hauser into this game, and it looks like going into these small closed alleyways is not going to be the ideal method of travel for against DePaul.
Yeah, it is not advised to go through small alleyways against Volak and Noob. They're just going to hunt you down. He already has tire. We are not even 40 seconds into this. It is not going... Let's see, it's still going around, I think. Still trying to find something. It gets 2. This is Volak's game, and we're just living in it, it seems like, tonight. And Montana already making some swaps. Loadman now not going to try and do the TP. Going over to the Cassidy to try and deal with Zeph. Oh, never mind. They're gonna go over to the Bastion. Cheval's gonna go onto the Soldier to try and deal with the Noob. I'm curious what the game plan is here with the Bastion.
I like that they're not committing to that sim. I think a more stubborn team would probably be in a worse spot here because that sim already kind of shown their hand. But Loadman getting taken down still might be a weakness, a vulnerability. But Noob taking down 4, 3 with the barrage, making a 5th onto Cheval. And you think that Soldier would be a little bit more equipped to deal with the Farah, but Montana hasn't been chalking it up.
With that Mercy Pocket, though, it is so hard to try and take down Noob because Mischievous is just constantly with her Farah. And you can just tell it's tons and tons of value every single fight. Montana just don't know where to look. You're getting shot in the back at one point from Zeph. You're getting shot from the left from Volak, and above you is Noob. They can't figure out where the prioritization should be, and already half the clock is gone.
I don't know if I like the fact that Montana's just committing to investing more shields into this. Winston and Reinhardt, those shields are going to get broken incredibly fast, especially as we see this tire rolling in from Volak, creeping around into the Soldier, not able to take it down in time. Montana now going to be down a member, and it does look like the Mercy's in a comfortable position to res for it. So Montana just going to be drawing out this fight, especially if Jimmy Carter continues to try to contest this Zeph ball.
Yeah, it's Noob's playground at this point. He gets another one as Montana. I'm just not sure what the game plan is. Zeph somehow steals the health pack away from Oivatank pretty quick, and this is I don't know. It is, I think Montana at this point you can tell maybe a little bit flustered on what they should do, because I don't think they've went against maybe this kind of comp that has been executed at this level before. As just this chaos comp is just absolutely ripping this to shreds. And here we go. Oh, they missed the concussion blast. They're still able to get 2. And now Zeph's going to try and go in for a little bit of cleanup, but just going to elect to reset. Oh,
Gonna be
never
the
mind.
mines invested into this. 45 seconds left. Zeph gonna be dropping those mines, and if you're playing on DePaul, you don't necessarily have to disagree that this is a bad idea, because now Montana gonna still be waiting on those long respawns.
Yeah, have those long respawns. They have maybe 1 fight left. Volak, they have another Riptire coming up. I don't know. Has Montana used an ultimate?
No, I don't think they have.
It seems like a few of them have been doing constant swaps. Here comes the grab. Tire over the top. Oh, yeah. Just Immortality Field this time.
Immortality Field not going to be able to save anybody from the Gravitic Flux, but I think enough lines of sights were broken. Earth Shatter goes down, but literally nobody from DePaul gets taken out. Zafe just bowls right through it. Pharmacy in the air, and now Montana really going to be reeling. 2 seconds left. Don't think anybody can touch. They will not, in fact. Bun Bun makes a run for it, but is gunned down. And just like that, Montana, 0 progress on the board.
Yeah, we were hoping to see something different from Montana in this map. We did see a lot of different looks, but it was too many different looks. They could not build ultimates the way they wanted to. I think Cheval was on like 3 or 4 heroes. Loadman went to 3 heroes throughout their time on this round. It just looked a little flustered, and it was constantly like, oh, we need to make a swap to counter this. And never mind, it's not working after 2 fights. We need to try and change this. And it got to the point where they didn't have ults, and then by the time they had a few of them, DePaul was on like their 3rd or 4th ult rotation at that point, especially with the Riptires and the barrages coming through. And again, it's just perfection from DePaul. They knew exactly what the game plan was going into tonight. You can tell this map pool for this week highly goes into their favor because Volak can play the Junkrat consistently, and you're going to be able to see it so far. And they're looking to get their 2nd win of the conference this season if they can get this tick on the first point.
Certainly looking well set up for them. And I want to ask, Twin, because I don't think my memory serves, have we even seen the Lucio come out from Montana? I feel like it would serve them so much better in most of these maps.
I don't think we have. And that's one thing that I wish, for them moving forward after this game, try and use the Lucio maybe a little bit more just to have that speed advantage, because that's one of the big reasons why they lost on Lijiang Tower, and now DePaul are going to be making some swaps. They're going to be running a little bit of an interesting lineup. They're going to have the Roadhog with the Wrecking Ball. So, going to try and play for picks instead of making space, and they're going to have to get an early pick with a lot of damage going behind that Orisa shield.
Have to wonder, is Loadman kind of trying to mimic a little bit of what Volak's performance was in the first round? Initially, it doesn't seem like they're able to achieve it because Volak already getting so aggressive, or was getting so aggressive, and we're not really seeing that from the side of Montana. They are already crumbling. The tanks in critical condition, saved by the Immortality Field, but that's not going to be for long, especially with that blast knocking everybody up into the sky, and perhaps knocking that final tick onto the point of first. Certainly seems like it, and with that, it's going to be a very, very fast Hanamura.
A very fast Hanamura, a very fast series. DePaul, they come in, they get the clean sweep against the University of Montana. They now improved to 3-9 on the season. Montana going to drop to 0-5. Noob gets play of the game. This DPS duo, they really shine today. Gets that first pick right there, and with the barrage, denies res, able to get 3, and finishes the Ryan, and the Soldier, I should say, shortly after. If they can have that kind of performance from their DPS line every single week, this could be a team that is able to knock out a upper level team. We haven't seen it much from this season, but especially if they can keep that coordination like they had tonight, they do have a good shot to, especially these final few weeks, build up that resume and enter the season, enter the playoffs on a positive note.
You would certainly have to imagine so. And even though we're talking that, DePaul was looking very well coordinated, very disciplined in their play together, I still think that even on Hanamura, we kind of saw a little bit of that disintegrate after a while. It just kind of felt like DePaul was throwing damage into any channel that they anticipated Montana walking through. And I'm particularly talking about that Junkrat. It just seemed like the Junkrat was firing pills down both lanes, and no matter where that first hit marker came up, that's just where he turned his attention to. And that's not a criticism. It served them very well in this game against Montana. I just wonder how it'll work against a higher caliber team.
think part of that was maybe they were getting a little carried away. Because I bet at that point they felt they had the series won, just the way the first two maps went, the way that first half of that map went. But at that point, it's something that you can't do against a very good team. They play William and Mary next week. That is a team you cannot do that against. You need to have your A game every single fight against William and Mary. And we'll have to see if they can adjust and continue that on, or not have that continue on in that series. We're going to go to a very quick break, and after that, we'll have an interview with DePaul.
Welcome back, folks. EGF Season 3 brought to you by Intel. Sir Waltham and Twin Salty, we've migrated all the way over to the interview desk, and we've managed to bring Tangerine along with us. Tangerine, hello, welcome, and most importantly, congratulations.
Thank you so much. I hope y'all don't mind. My cat has decided to join me for the interview today. So
I
Oh, no
can't think of a
problem.
single person who would have an issue with that. So we're all good. We're all good. But looking, I guess, now at what was the match between your team and Montana, a very quick match. What was the prep like? What was the practice like coming off of last week's game?
I think a lot of what we were doing was just trying to solidify comps as best as we can. We a lot of times in scrims were like, okay, maybe we should try doing this, maybe we should try doing this, but then we realized that we just need to get a solidified core down of what we need to do first, and then we can start branching out on individual maps with different comps. Uh, So just trying to solidify our favorite comp for each map has really been a really big prioritization for us, and in terms of our practice has been our main focus, I feel like.
All right. And obviously tonight we'll have to, have the stat checkers look. But you guys may have had the quickest game in EGF this season. What were the vibes like tonight? As it just seemed like I don't think you guys lost a single fight the entire match.
Yeah, no, we were chilling. We were having a good time. We were still calming like crazy, to be fair. Like we were still doing our ult trekking, we were still doing our fight planning for every single fight that we did. We were calling when we were going aggressive, calling when we were disengaging. We weren't like not talking. But I mean, we were just kind of letting the wheel ride out, so to say.
Yeah, it seemed like it. Got a little bit sloppy near the end of Hanamo. But you guys still didn't lose a fight, so we'll give credit to you when credit's due. And I got a unique question for you. As a caster yourself, how is it like looking at these other teams and prepping, being someone who already kind of on the side is already, very analytical and looking at these games at a high level?
Looking at it from that, I think that even just like the casting gives me a different perspective that it would in the game, as you were alluding to like it being more analytical. I am the fight planner for the team currently, so I feel like those do kind of go somewhat hand in hand. I've watched borderline too much of this game. Uh so I feel like I can somewhat understand tempo, but a lot of the tempo of what's keeping up is actually has to do a lot to do with Zafe on our team. Uh, Matt is our main pather, so he calls where to go. I just call what to do.
Yeah, we can definitely tell that, the chemistry's there. That is for sure. And we have a little stat for you before Sir Waltham, I think, asked the final question. 20 minutes was the total between all three maps of in-game time. That is quite an impressive stat. I don't think we've had a 20-minute series in an extremely long time, so that is crazy. But Sir Waltham, you got anything else to ask Tangerine?
Not too much else, but as I usually do before we let you go, Tangerine, do want to give you the opportunity for any shout outs. You, your team, your opponents, whoever, the mic's yours.
Yeah, honestly, I do just want to kind of give a shout out to honestly just the entire team, because lately they've been putting in some work. They've been coming in, putting in the time, being clear cut with communication. We've actually been like moving uh a lot better lately. I would say it's been feeling a lot more fluid. I feel like we've been improving a lot more, and a lot of that has to do with just the team's dedication to wanting to get better and wanting to play more. So I mean, just thank you to them. I don't think it gets said enough from like player to players how important it is to to thank your team for being there. So I think that's just what I would say.
Very nice shout out there, Tangerine. Once again, thank you for hopping into our interview booth. And once again, if I haven't said it enough, congratulations.
Thanks for having me.
And with that, Twin, we are about ready to wrap things up for quite a little bit. Stick around, folks. We will be back in give or take 40 minutes if my math brain is working here this evening. But with that being said, we will be concluding with our final game of the evening. So make sure you stick around. Don't miss it. EGF Season 3. We'll be right back.